What's up, guys? I'm Thomas Mahler, and today I will be giving my take and my prediction for Super Bowl 53 Rams versus Patriots. Now, starting with the Patriots, they had a good season yet again this year, going 11-5, grabbing the number 2 seed in the playoffs, and winning the AFC East again, making that 10 straight. And while this was a fantastic season, by the measurements of most teams, it hasn't quite lived up to the gold standard that Brady and Belichick have built over the past 2 decades. Now, that 11-5 record is actually the worst they've done since 2009 when they went 10-6 and lost in the wild card. Nonetheless, they beat the Chargers and the Chiefs en route to their 3rd straight Super Bowl. Now, that conference championship game against the Chiefs. Crazy game, goes in overtime, straight shootout between the two teams starting in the second half. And I think everybody watching knew when Tom Brady got the ball down a couple points with around 2 minutes to go, it was his time. So, of course, he drives down the field, gets the touchdown, puts the Patriots back in the lead. But he leaves a little bit too much time on the clock, and the Chiefs come back tied up with a field goal. And then it goes to overtime. Patriots win the coin flip, get the ball, and Tom Brady does what Tom Brady does, winning again. Now, the NFC's representation this year's Super Bowl. The Los Angeles Rams going 13-3, having a fantastic season, talented on both sides of the ball, have a young, fantastic head coach in Sean McVay. Probably the most well-rounded team in the NFL, at least that's what I thought when I watched them all year. Now, their star players, obviously, Aaron Donald, probably going to win Defensive Player of the Year. Just game breaker from the defensive tackle position, the likes of which the NFL has never seen before. And Gurley, the touchdown machine at running back, had a quiet playoff so far, but he lit it up all year long for them. Now, they had a great season. They snuck past the Saints in the conference championship game on questionable circumstances with that pass interference call. Now, I know a lot of Saints fans are angry about that, and, you know, it's a rough way to go for sure, because that was a clear foul, and I think it would have given the Saints the game and the trip to the Super Bowl. But here we are. The Rams played well enough to get to where they are, and now they're playing the Patriots. Now that we've discussed the two teams a bit, I think it's time we take it back in time for a little bit of a history lesson. So, 2 games come to mind when I think about this year's Super Bowl. Those being, first off, Super Bowl 36. Everyone's talking about it. Rams versus Patriots. Tom Brady's first Super Bowl. Tom Brady's first Super Bowl MVP. Tom Brady's first season as a starter. It was the game that started Tom Brady on this path of record-breaking and legacy-creating. Brady has come a long way since then. Back in 2001, he was more of a game manager, and he helped his team get to the Super Bowl. But nowadays, he's more or less single-handedly bringing the Patriots to Super Bowl after Super Bowl. Now, on the other side of the field, the Rams. So, back in 2001, they were known by the name The Greatest Show on Turf. They had a light-up-the-scoreboard kind of offense with Kurt Warner and Marshall Faulk. And I think the best comparison between the 01 Rams and the 19 Rams are Faulk and Gurley. Fantastic dual-threat running backs, can catch it out of the backfield, good pass protectors. They're really a type of player you have to game plan around. And I think that's the best comparison that can be made here. The other game that comes to mind is Super Bowl 20, Bears versus Patriots. Now, the versus Patriots part is more of a coincidence here. But the 85 Bears, one of the most dominant defenses the NFL has ever seen. Created the 46 defense, revolutionized that side of the ball, overload blitzes, play after play. Now, the 85 Bears and the 2019 Rams both have had a star defensive tackle, with the Bears having William the Refrigerator Perry and the Rams having Aaron Donald, obviously. On the offensive side of the ball, star running backs, again, dual threat. The Bears having Walter Payton, one of the greatest of all time, and Todd Gurley, the touchdown machine. And further than that, an average quarterback at best, I think, for both teams. The Bears having Jim McMahon and the Rams having Jared Goff. And both quarterbacks have become known for their big personalities and their swag. Jim McMahon was Mr. Sunglasses, always wore 'em everywhere he went, and Jared Goff has recently been labeled California cool because of his chill factor. And I just think it's worth mentioning the similarities between these two teams. And let it be noted that the Bears absolutely demolished the Patriots in that game, running through them 46-10. Now it's time for the fun fact of the day. So, when Tom Brady won the Super Bowl over the Rams for the 01-02 season, he was a little bit younger. And as age works like that, so is everybody else. So, the NFL's leading playoff rusher this season, Sony Michel, for the Patriots, was 6 years old when Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl. Tom Brady's star tight end, Rob Gronkowski, was 12. Tom Brady's best receiver, Julian Edelman, was 15. And the Rams' head coach was 16 playing high school football as a sophomore quarterback. Tom Brady's pretty old. And finally, for my game prediction. As I said before, I think the game most like this one was Super Bowl 20, where the Patriots lost 46-10. Now, I don't think this game will be quite as much of a blowout, and I hope it won't be. But I think the similarities are just too striking to ignore. Now, the Rams are a more well-rounded team than the Patriots, and I think it's easy to see that, and even more so when you consider the quarterback. Now, if you could have a good player at any position, you would pick quarterback, and it's clear that the Patriots have a better one than the Rams. And I think that highlights the fact that the Rams have a better overall team because of their average quarterback and the fact that they were still able to get. Another situation this reminds me of is Super Bowl 48, Broncos versus Seahawks. Now, it was the number one offense of the Broncos versus the number one defense of the Seahawks. And if you don't remember how that went down, the number one defense in the Seahawks crushed the Broncos 43-8. Now, again, I don't think this game is going to be a blowout, but I think the types of teams that they are, comparing the Patriots to the Broncos offensively and the Rams to the Seahawks defensively, is telling for what type of game this is going to be. And I think the Rams are going to have enough to stop the Patriots offense. Now, there's going to be some intense game planning between two fantastic coaches, the young McVay and the veteran Belichick. Now, Belichick is famous for taking away his opponent's most dangerous weapon. On defense, for the Rams, that being Aaron Donald, so you can expect a lot of double or triple teams on the offensive line. And on the offense, that would be Todd Gurley. Now, he got held in check in the conference championship game against the Saints, and I see that happening again. He's just too much of a threat to let run free, and he could really take the game away from the Patriots if it gets out of hand. And as far as game planning against Jared Goff, I think as a young quarterback as he is, you want to take it out of McVay's hands, and Belichick is probably going to disguise some defenses, run some exotic blitzes, put the game in Jared Goff's hands, and see if he can win it. And that's, I think, the best chance the Patriots have, is just let the young quarterback show what he can do. And, of course, my game prediction. Now, based on the stories history tells us, and from what I've seen this season, I've got the Rams to avenge their 0-1 loss, beat the Patriots 30-27 in Super Bowl 53.